Good morning. I like your. That's a nice picture, Mike.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Don't
Hold on.
lie.
Bear with me. I will be with you on camera in a minute.
No,
I
I
don't
mean
know
that's good.
why
That's a
it's
good
not
picture.
working.
Put some eyeballs on the camera or something. I don't know. Do I need to
That'd
do
be
something?
awesome. I'm in witness protection. All right, Jimmy? Leave me
Okay.
alone.
I got you. I got you. Maybe if I make you a co-host or something. I don't know. Does that help? Here, I'm gonna
Oh,
ask you.
there we
Oh, there
go.
we go.
I
There it
figured it
is.
out. See? Just
There it
have a
is.
little faith. Have a little faith.
Have a little face. So, how are you today, big guy?
Oh, living the dream.
Yeah, pretty fantastic week so far.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We are cruising.
Heck yeah.
Lots going on, but it's all good stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Hell yeah. Hey, I'll give a quick update for the people on the call. Just know that tomorrow, for Good Friday, the offices will not be actually staffed. You can still get in, at least for the ones that have offices. I know they sent out an email yesterday, but just plan accordingly.
Yep.
There's
So
not
if
going to
you
be
need
anybody in the
anything,
offices.
call Jimmy's cell phone, no matter
Yeah.
where you are. Doesn't
I'll put my
matter
here.
where
I'll
you're
put my number.
located. Jimmy is your guy. I
Hold on,
can
let
put his
me.
cell phone in the chat if you don't have it.
I'll put it in. Don't worry about it.
You're gonna put mine. I know.
You know, I'll put your number in there. That's how we're gonna roll. Or you can call Craig. Craig loves phone calls too, right, Craig?
Oh,
Actually,
Craig loves it.
Craig would prefer, just so everybody knows, Craig would prefer a phone call versus
Yes.
versus a text, to be completely honest, which is cool. So
Meanwhile,
anyways,
if you email Jeff, just know that you're one of 487,496 emails that have not gotten read. So I would text Jeff and I would call Craig. Just little
yes.
housekeeping there.
Yes. And those of you that work with me always know that you always text me first to see, and then I end up calling you right away. But if you call me, it probably goes right to voicemail, and I send you a message saying I'll call you right back. That's just how it works. Anyways, so today on our tactical Thursday class, yeah, I've been getting a lot of calls um, around our presentations and how to do some of this stuff. So I thought today could be a good opportunity with what's happening in the market. You know, we want to show up better. We want to be a little bit more visible. So I kind of wanted to go over a few different things that we have available for you in the Moxie Present tool, just so you're aware. And if maybe you use this every once in a while, maybe you don't use it at all. Just another great opportunity for you to kind of set the tone for your business. If you're using the presentation, also show up a little bit differently. And I really wanted to kind of walk through kind of the Moxie Present tool and how you can get in and use some of the things that we've already made for you. Because that's one of the great things that we've done is we have taken a lot of time, energy, and effort to actually come up with some more specific presentations for our brokerage. So you're able to kind of tell that story. And it's fantastic, especially for you new agents that haven't got any business yet, or maybe you're working on it, or you get your first buyer lead, or you get your first seller lead. It's always like, well, what do I do? What do I do next? Well, obviously, we have scripts in place so you can really go through and ensure that this person is a seller or buyer. But once that happens, kind of what are the next steps? What can you send them? What can you share with them to be able to, again, I think to show up better. And if you're not incorporating these presentations into your business, I think you're missing out. Just a couple quick stats before I kind of share my screen. The agents that incorporate Moxie Present into their business for our brokerage, they do $46,000 more than those that do not. 46,000. So that's about 4.5 deals, I think, for us, Mike, give or take, right?
Yep.
Anybody
Yep.
on this call want to do an extra 4.5 deals right now? I've heard a lot of conversations of what's happening in the market, and some are scared, some are just living the dream. I don't know about you, but I think that would be pretty fantastic. And then on top of that, our top users of this tool, like our top 10, guess how much their average commission was last year, the top 10 users. This is more than just like 10 presentations sent out. These are in the hundreds that they send out. What do you think it is, Mike? You probably already know, but just guess something.
Their average gross commission check per deal.
Now, just total
Oh,
commission, like on average for our top 10 users.
oh, 120 grand.
Okay. Anybody else want to guess? What do you think our top 10 users, what they average in commission if they're using this tool? Our top 10 users. I'm not saying top 10 agents, top 10 users of the Moxie Present tool. What do you think they brought in last year on average? Let's see. I got $20,000. Oh, 50K, 300K. I like the 300K. That would be nice. 200,000. Okay. The average was $192,000 for the top 10 agents that actually incorporate this tool into their business. And they don't just do it once. They do it multiple reason ways. And I'm going to show you a couple of those options that are going to be available for you. So,
Well, and I would argue too that before you even dive in, that in a market like we're in now, it's even more important, right? Because let's hypothetically say there's going to be less overall home sales than we want, right? What does that mean? Well, it means that there's more agents competing for less sales,
yep.
which means that when you're interviewing for a listing or even with a buyer, you're likely competing against two, three, four, five, sometimes more
Yep.
other agents than you ever would have before, right? When everyone's crazy, when in 2020, everybody had clients coming to them. Not the case right now, right?
Right.
So when you are in these situations, you're usually in a competitive situation, which means the person who shows up better and gives a better presentation and offers tools that they're not seeing from the others, they're going to win, right? So this is even more important in a regular or tough market than I think it even is in a really good market. So
Oh, yeah.
just want to preface that, but
And I would
let's
say,
go
you
on.
know, a takeaway for everybody today is to get on the next level. You go look at some of these videos on how to prepare these presentations and make a commitment at the end today that you are going to go and you're going to send some of these out. If they're buyer presentations, if they're seller presentations, a buyer tour, for sale by owner presentation, whatever it may be, make a commitment to send one a day next week. Send out 5 next week to all your past clients or your friends or your family, or if you don't have any. And you're going to see people start like Lauren popping up. I win more listings against other agents because of this. I'm just saying, even against other corporate ones because of our presentation. So let's go ahead and dive in real quick. Let me get my screen up. I'm going to actually start real quick, not with my email, my bad. We're not going to start with that, Mike. We're not going to start with that. I'm actually going to start with this slide real quick, just to talk real quick on Moxie Present. So this is actually one of the slides that I actually do at almost every training that corporate has, and I do this once a month with prospective brokers that are thinking about joining the Century 21 team. Okay. And again, the main thing I want to talk is hopefully most of you know what Moxie Prison is. But the main thing I kind of want to hit on this to show up a little differently is going to be 3 different pieces. One is going to be that you do have the capability of customizing this however you'd like. If you want to add video, if you want to add your testimonials, there's a lot of agents out there that do a lot of videos for their properties and things like that. Imagine adding those things to make a little bit personalized, more of a presentation for you. So you have that capability. 2, these are all fed from MLS and they're IDX fed. So if you are working with any numbers, if it's a buyer tour, if it's a seller like CMA presentation, those presentations will update as your properties do, as the properties that you choose. Let's say if you're showing 5 houses this weekend and 2 of them go pending, it will automatically update in this presentation for you from things that go from active to pending and pending to sold. Okay. And then number 3, it's actually the way you can deliver this to your clients. I'm going to show you how to do that today also, because yes, I'm sure if you've done some type of presentation, you've printed it, you've taken it with you to a client's house, you've probably emailed a PDF, but these are web-based presentations. And what that does for you is it allows you to be able to use text. Okay, so you're able to text. And I don't know if you remember this, Mike, like probably like 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, we did this little competition and we even threw some things out on social saying, hey, you're going to put a big ass smile on your face when you see how much equity you have. How would you like me to send it to you, email or text? So you can truly meet your client how they like to communicate. Because I know, I mean, we just talked about texting and phone calls, right? Like if you try to call Jeff, he's not going to answer. But if you text him, he would prefer something like that. So imagine being able to deliver something that looks fantastic, is optimized for your device, and being able to get in front of your clients a little bit differently, right? So I just kind of wanted to share a few of those things. And these are just different ways that you can show up a little bit more. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll walk you through how to get into a presentation. What we'll do is we'll focus on, what do you want to do first, Mike? Do you want to work on, I got a buyer? You want to do that one first, and then we'll go
Yeah,
to
we can
sell?
start with the buyer.
Okay. And I think that's a good idea because I have a lot of agents that are talking to me saying, "Yeah, I get these buyers and they're kind of interested in seeing a property, but everybody's holding off. They don't want to sign a written agreement, blah 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 blah." And then the follow-up is going to have to come in play. But what if you had a tool that you could send to them that will allow you to show up better, and give them some more value and kind of set the tone for how to work with you, right? So to get into Moxie Present, what we're going to do is I'm going to go the long way. We're going to go to 21 online, log in there with your century21.com email. And then I'm going to come over here to the right and go to Productivity Hub. And this is all the tools that Century 21 offers for our agents. And it's in alphabetical order, which is, well, I thought it was alphabetical order. I guess that's listing resources, whatever. You want to go down and you want to find one of the Moxie tools. Okay. And then in this case, we're using Moxie Present. All I'm going to do is click on that. It's going to take me to my dashboard. Oh, I'm under Kara's. I don't know
It's
if
going to
Kara's
take you to
on.
Kara's dashboard.
Yeah, let me switch back out. Sorry. So you're going to come into basically, like this is your account page basically here. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over here to Moxie Present, just the present tool. Now with Moxie, you can click on any of these buttons on the top right, and you'll be able to jump between the marketing tool, your website, your CRM, the presentation, all that kind of stuff there. And so this is going to be your dashboard of all your presentations. Okay. If you have any, if not, if you haven't used this yet, okay. But Mike, you said, hey, you know what? I just got a lead. Someone's interested in a property, or I'm actively working my sphere, and I have somebody who's moving down here in the next few months. I have somebody that, their lease is up in the next 2 months and they need to start looking. They want to see where we're at. So we're going to focus specifically on the buyer right now. And this is so easy to do because we have made these presentations for you. Every time you need a new presentation, if it's a listing presentation, buyer tour, any of the equity review, any of those, you're going to always come up here to the top right under the blue box and click create new. Now, Mike, this is a buyer, right? This is pretty self-explanatory. Seller, buyer tour, buyer, non-listing, okay? Non-listing is going to be like a for sale by owner campaign, okay? We're going to click on buyer and click continue. And what will happen is you're going to see our brokerage templates all available here for you. There's a beach project one here. There's a Spanish version of our buyer presentation. There is, if you want to focus on buyer down payment assistance, you have the buyer presentation. Now there's two different ones here that I'm just going to call out. The one here that's 24 pages that says C21 Beggins buyer presentation. This is the one from last year. Okay, we just replaced the new one here, which says 2025 buyer presentation. The only reason we have not gotten rid of this one is some of you guys have this presentation out there already. And the last thing we want to do is delete all these pages and now all of a sudden your buyers have nothing to go to. So what I would recommend is send them the newer one if you want. And all we're going to do is we're going to select which presentation we want. Now, this is the same steps if you're doing a for sale by owner campaign, if you're doing an equity review, if you're doing a buyer tour, if you're doing a seller presentation, or you're doing a pricing presentation. It's all the same first steps. You just have to choose which presentation you're going to be sending to your client. So after I click continue, we want to name it. Now, in this case, I recommend that you probably put the client's name on the buyer's side. On the listing side, I always do addresses, and I'll tell you why when we get there. And then you're going to click create. So I'm going to name the file so that way I can go back and find it later, because one of the cool things with this presentation is I'm able to, if Mike is in my database, I can add him here to my contacts, and then I can track when he actually opens it. And Mike's not in here. I must have put you in something on another one. Sorry about that. And then what you're going to do down here is I'm not really spending any time on any of this information on this page. I don't want to add anything. You can if you really want. We're not going to be showing houses. We're not doing any of that stuff. We're not searching for properties. We're not going to be pulling any of those comps in. When I am done right now with this presentation, that's all I have to do. So when I have a buyer that shows interest, I should send them this. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to view it. And you can view every presentation by doing this at any point throughout the presentation. I can either look at it via web or I can download it and print it if that's something that I need to do. In this case, I just want to take a look at the website. And let me kind of walk you through some of these pages. Now, I know Jessica has gone through this presentation a couple times in some of her classes. But one of the first things you're going to notice when you get into this presentation is we have already added video to this for you. And hopefully you have seen this. I will play just a quick snippet of it so you can see, but we have added this presentation. It kind of talks about all the pages underneath it, sets the tone for why they should hire you and Century 21 Beggins to help them find their next property, along with talking about why they need to sign a written agreement, even with examples of those agreements in the presentation. So if you don't know what to say or how to say it, send this presentation and you're already setting yourself up better than most people that are out there. So I'm going to just play a quick snippet of this.
Thank you for taking the time to
I
interview
don't
the
know if you
Century
can hear
21
that or not.
Beggins family of companies and agents for the job of finding you your next property or home. We take our responsibility very seriously as we recognize this is one of the most emotional and exciting times of life, as well as one that's filled with anxiety that requires.
All right, anyways, I don't want to spend the entire class going through a specific video, but this thing is absolutely amazing. They did a great job, and it ties specifically into this entire presentation for you. So if you have never seen this, you should go and take a look at this because, again, it sets the tone. I like to say this is how I do business, and this really sets the tone for us finding that perfect property for you. Even has the lifestyle profile checklist in here. Again, it's all prepping them for your consultation. Someone who's never purchased a house, this goes through those steps for them. Key terms that they're probably going to need to know when they're buying a house. Talks about a pre-approval. Talks about closing costs. Talks about inspections. Talks about so many different things in here. Even talks about why they need, in this case, we talk about the EBBA, the exclusive buyer broker agreement. And it gives some specific things in here for you. So if you don't know what to talk about, these are some great talking points on why they need to do some of that. Okay. So if I want to send this, remember, there's a few ways I can do this. I'm going to go back to the presentation. I can click send and I'm going to just add Mike here. Okay. Name it however, whatever you want. Yo, click the link now or else. Okay,
Can't
definitely
wait
don't
to
send
report
anything
this
like this.
spam.
Yeah, definitely do not put anything like that in it. Like I would never tell them like, hey, or else. But anyways, I'm just trying to have fun with it. All right, so you have that option. So Mike is actually going to get that in there in his email. I'm also going to get a copy of it, so I know when it actually has gone out, which is pretty cool. Now, the other thing, remember we talked about texting. So if you have someone who spends a little bit more time on the text aspect, this is what I would recommend to do. Go back to the first page that you have here, or maybe on the video, whichever one that you want. And then this link right here that's on the top, that is what I want to text somebody. And I would tell you the easiest way to do this, unless you're pulling this up on your phone, is just copy this. I would just email it to yourself so you can get it on your phone, pull it up, and send it directly from your phone. And you can do that with any presentation. Video will play, everything will be there that is in this presentation. It's just mobily optimized. It works on that. So no matter where they open it up, if they're on an iPad, if they're on their computer, obviously you can email it. So I would do both. I would email it, let them know that it's there, and I would send them a text with it too. Does that make sense, Mike?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So that's one way that you can show up. So anybody that has a buyer, how many of you have buyers how many have either reached out and got a new buyer in the last 30 days or they're working with someone that is thinking about maybe purchasing. Not someone that you're out with showing houses right now, but raise your hand if you have any buyers right now out there that you have gotten in the last 30 days. Yes, you have, Tara, you do have one in Japan. That is correct. So nobody has any buyers. I got 2 people that have buyers. Okay, that's concerning. That's concerning. How many have buyers in the last year that have stepped off of the playing field right now, or in that, like, are sitting down right now on the bench waiting? Okay. Okay, so now that's better. Okay, so now my next question, and I'll try not to call anybody out but those of you that have buyers right now that said yes, or I have 2 sitting, or I have 5 or 3, I got one this morning. How many of you have sent out a buyer presentation to them? Now, most of you probably will not raise your hand unless you really did. You're not going to say, I haven't. I did. So that's where one of my challenges is to you today, is if you have buyers that have been on the fence, even if it was last year, because if it was last year, we didn't have this presentation available with video and everything in it. And if you really want to step up, Mike, you add a little video of yourself saying, hey, I know it's been a while. Some crazy things, some awesome things are happening in the market right now. This is a great opportunity for buyers right now, depending on the area, right? There's some, like if I'm in Sun City and I have a 14-month supply of homes, is that a buyer's market or a seller's market, right? So buyers have a lot of opportunity right now if they want to get into it. So I would recommend, if you have not sent this presentation to them, that is one of the takeaways from today. Go back to your past buyers and send that out. Okay. All right. Next up, let's go ahead and let's talk about a seller, Mike, right? So same steps. You have a seller that's showing some interest, and we have definitely seen an increase in listings, right? So there's more people that are showing interest, but we definitely want to show up better than the competition and try and use every tool that we have to show up better, right? So let's go ahead and do a seller presentation. Now, how we teach this, we don't just go out and just do pricing, right, Mike?
Nope.
No, we need to preview the property. We go through the script. We go through all of those steps to make sure that we actually have a seller. And then we want to preview the property first so we can go out, because we truly can't price a property without seeing it. You know, anybody who says that they can do that, I'd probably run from them. So, but we have a couple different presentations available on the seller side for you. So you can still follow that process to, to get in front of them before you get to the pricing presentation and walking through that. So let's go ahead, and we're going to start with, if you have a preview and you're getting ready to come out and take a look at a property, or you have a seller that, they're thinking about it, they're not quite sure, we still want to send them something. Okay. You still want to send them something. So I'm going to create new, just like I said before, we create new every single time. And we're going to come over here and click seller and hit continue. Now, what we're going to do here on the broker templates is we are going to focus on this one here, which is the C21 Beggins pre-listing preview. There are no comps that you are going to put in here. You are not putting properties in here. Okay. You're not searching for properties. We're not giving pricing. This is just marketing. Now, we do have a new one that will be coming out here shortly. I will let you know when that happens. We're going to update some videos, update some graphics, and really kind of streamline what this looks like for you. But for now, this is the one that we need to use, the C21 Beggins pre-listing preview, the no comps. Now, what I'm going to do, Mike, is I'm going to pull up an expired, because this is definitely some low-hanging fruit for agents, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up an expired listing here in Apollo Beach that just came out. I'm going to pull it from MLS. Give me 1 second. So what I like to do here is I like to put the address. And then what I like to do is I like to just put like marketing. I like to know which presentation this is going to be. Because when I come back to do a pricing presentation, I don't want to get confused on which ones. If I have to go back and make updates, I want to know what's what. Okay, so I leave it like this and I hit create. So now the only thing that I need to do on this property when I am sending it out for a potential seller is I need to put some basic information for the property in this subject property page. Basic, do not spend a lot of time. You can pull this either from MLS or from tax records. So the first way you can do it is you can come down here to location, and then I can actually start putting in the address here. So I can go through this process. If it's not available in MLS, I'd put location information, and then I want to choose just some basic information on the subject property. Is this a single family home? Is it a condo? Is it a townhome? Bedrooms, baths, some square footage, just some basic information to get started. Now, the other way, the easier way, if it is available in MLS, if it was listed prior, I can actually pull in the MLS number here and hit copy, and it'll actually pull in all the information that it was listed in MLS. It even pulls up a nice little picture. Okay. The only thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to delete the remarks because I do not want some other agent's remarks in there. They just expired. They're probably not happy that it expired. Okay. And then from there, I am done. Just like the buyer presentation. If I click view and go to web view, you'll see all the pages that are in here available. I text them and do the same thing I did on the buyer side to either email them, text them this presentation. There's also a video that's built into here. We've had this video for a long time. So you will actually see this in here, the strategic marketing video. This is actually going to be updated also. And you'll have all that information and things about Zillow Showcase. You'll see things about why photography is important, the listing process, the preview checklist, all these different great information. There's even a listing agreement at the end of this if you really wanted to give them everything to really show up differently. Okay. So again, if I want, I can take this link, I can text that out, I can just hit send, and I can email this one to Mike, attach a PDF to it if I want to do that so they can print it up, and I'm good to go. Any questions on that? How many people now on this call have had a seller in the past? Let's go back, let's say the past 30 to 60 days that showed some interest in possibly listing here in the near future. Anybody have anyone in the past 60 days? Okay. How many of those have you sent one of these presentations to? Okay, so that's the next question. And if you haven't, put this on your list of things to do next week where you can go and send them something to allow you to show up. Terry, awesome job. I had a quick question I wanted to answer. Let's see. All of them, not one. Sorry, which presentation did you click on to start the seller? You click seller and you click create new seller. And this is for Carla. This is the marketing presentation right here. The C21 Beggins pre-listing one. You can't, Mike Lehman, you can't text from this unless you have a text app on your computer. But what you would do is when you're on the presentation and you're viewing it, you take this link here at the top and you can text that. So however you decide you want to text that. If you have an app on if you're using your computer and you can do it, if you're using something like that, if not, email this link to yourself and text it from there. But yes, that's one of the first things we talked about, Mike, is yes, you can text this because it's web-based, which basically means just like any other website that you have, you can easily share a website via text on your phone. All right, and we're almost out of time, so I wanted to just quickly show a couple other presentations that are available in here. Okay, so we already got the seller, we already got the buyer. I'm going to go back to the seller one more time. So the second step, obviously, is once you have previewed the home, then you're going to do the pricing presentation, and this only has reports. So this is only interactive reporting to show what the property is actually worth using comparables, just like a typical CMA, but it's interactive, and you're able to communicate it whichever way that you want. So that would be the next step. We also have a video on that and how you can incorporate MLS and pull in some stuff if you don't want to learn how to use the system. The other thing that you can actually look at doing too is our C21 Beggins quick CMA. So I'm going to do this very, very quickly. How many people have sold a house in the last 2 years? Let's do a show of hands. Anybody close a buyer the last 2 years? Terry, you're on point. Thank you so much for interacting. I appreciate you. Jenny Bell, yep. I know a lot of you on this. I'm sure I could go down this list and almost every single one of you have done this. So my question to you is, when was the last time you sent them a quick CMA or equity review? All right, so Henry, you're the last one I saw on there. When was the last time you did an equity review for one of your past clients? Lauren, last week. Fantastic. Okay, so if you have not, this is another great opportunity. I'll tell you, when we came back from the top agent event, everybody was saying where their business is coming from. And a lot of those top agents, it's a lot of referral based business. Yes, some are doing farming, some are doing some social media stuff, but you hear a lot of referrals, past clients, and sphere. So you have an opportunity with your sphere, with your past clients, to be able to offer them an equity review. And for those of you that are new, okay, for those of you that are new and don't have any business, I will promise you, if you reached out to your sphere, your neighbors, and said, hey, I have this awesome tool, I would love to be able to give you an equity review, because I think it's important that you should know what your house is worth and how much money you have in there. But I would love to do that for you. I can email or text it. What would you like to do? Friends, family, sphere, everyone's going to support you unless your neighbors hate you. Like if I was next to Mike, he may not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what that looks like. But this equity review, now you have to do some extra work, and I'm not going to spend time actually showing how to pull numbers in anything today because I'm already over time. But when you actually come through this presentation, it talks about what equity is and what they could actually, how they could leverage their equity. So this is something that should happen at least once a year for all of your past clients. And what would make it even better is if you add a little video saying, hey, Jenny, Jimmy here. I know it's been a while. I hope you're enjoying your new home. I know you bought it last year. I just thought it really, I need to make sure you understand kind of what your equity looks like. And, just like a tax advisor is going to let you know what's happening, whatever that message may look like. But hey, this is your yearly update on what your house is worth. Do this kind of short and sweet, and you're able to send this out again, whichever way you want. And then the last one I'm going to show real quick is if I do I'm not going to do the buyer tour today. I didn't have time to do that, but there is a video on the Next Level U on how to do the buyer tour. On the non-listing side, you're going to see there's a lot of, actually, I can't do this right now because I see too many. There is actually a for sale by owner presentation. Now you guys will not see as many as we have here. But for instance, there's a for sale by owner guide. Is there anybody on this call that actually focuses on for sale by owners? Do I have any for sale by owner agents in here that's their kind of lane that they've been focusing on this year? All right, so we got a few hands up, right? So this is a presentation that is made around for sale by owners that will allow you to send something like this, if that's your focus area. And it's some really great information that you can use. Again, you can text it, you can email it. It's just a presentation that we've made that's available for you. Just like if you wanted to look at, where did it go? Let's just say, for instance, that you wanted someone who's interested in our beach projects. Here's a presentation that's made for you. So really what I wanted to do today is just show you again what's available, what we've kind of made for you, so you are ready to go. For the newer agents, you have something. You don't have to spend hours and hours on marketing and videos and how do I do this and what should I add to this. We give you everything that you really need to get started, and then as you get started, you'll be able to tweak some things. For those agents that are using this, I would ask how can you differ from everybody else? We've done over 16,000 presentations as a brokerage. And so if you're going up against somebody else, in our brokerage or anywhere in the state, how can you show up a little bit different? Are you adding video? I see that You know, Lauren said she likes to do that. She has a real satisfied review page in there, which is fantastic. I think you might, you know, if to kind of just set yourself apart, because there are ways if you do tweak these, because you can take pages in and out, you can really tweak it toward yourself and save it as a templated version for you as an agent, and then you can just use that template every single time, and you don't have to go and spend all that extra time taking pages out and adding new pages and doing some of those things. So again, that is in the next level. The next level if you go down to Moxi, you'll see what those trainings, you know, look like. The other thing I would ask of you, this is more for me, as you do go to some of those and you go to my YouTube page, my tech tip of the week that literally has all of this stuff along with other things, pretty much all the training that I do. Feel free to subscribe to that. I'd love it. I would love to have some more followers. That way, as I come out with new training, you'll get notified when some of that stuff comes out from the YouTube side. So please take a look at that if you get a chance. And if you do have questions, again, you have answers in the next level but you can always reach out to Mike and I so we can help you through whatever that's going to be. And Kara, hopefully we will have your little issue that you're having handled sooner than later. I'm hoping we'll get you taken care of, okay? So thank you for joining me on Thursday. Happy Thursday. Remember, Friday, the offices are not going to be manned or womaned. So you can still get in through the Kissy app and stuff like that. But please have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy yourself out there. And if you need anything, let us know. Happy Thursday.